Hey, what's up guys? It is Yoda here from Yoda Games, and we are back with the next episode, the fourth episode I believe, for the Ark Dino Guide. And as you can see, we have our next 5 contestants. We'll get to them here in a second. Yes, I see you up there, you big long neck bastard. But these are our first 3 winners here from the first 3 rounds. We have the Aranio Spider, the Carbon Enemies Turtle, and the Shit-Slinging Camel, the long-faced. Here, the Calicotherium. They're pretty cool. We saw them in the last video. We learned some about them. But now we're on to the 4th round, and we need a winner for this 4th round. So let's get into this. First up here, we have these little guys. If you guys have ever seen Jurassic Park, I think they're only in the first one. The spitting dinos that have the fan blades on their neck. They're kind of small, but these guys make good guard dogs, believe it or not. On here, on Ark, when they spit at you, if they hit you, it disorients you, I guess. It blurs your screen. It kind of slows you down for about 8 seconds in game time, which is enough for these guys to pretty much swarm your ass and kill you. And these guys vary in groups. Sometimes you'll see just 1, you'll see 2 out in the swamps, and out in the swamp areas and stuff, you'll see like anywhere between 10 to 20. And then you're in trouble, because you might be able to dodge 2 or 3 of them spitting at you, but when you have a wall of these guys just hurling at you, you're kind of in trouble. But yeah, these guys, you cannot ride them. Well, let's get a side-by-side here with this guy. I mean, I guess like a small kid could ride one, but I wouldn't really advise it, because I wouldn't really want those little spines in my crotch, because that looks like that would hurt. But yeah, these guys, they're great startup tames, for a first predator tame. And they are a standard knockout tame. They eat meat. They are a carnivore, as you can guess from the teeth, the claws, and the overall look of them. Standard knockout tame, like I said. They do not have a favorite kibble, however. But the kibble that they produce is preferred by the Ankylosaurus, which we saw in the first video, the Diodicarus, and the Patchy, which we'll see them in later videos. And they are breedable. The Dilophosaur, Dilopho, whatever you want to call them. They are breedable. They take 22 hours and 50 minutes to reach full maturation, which is pretty cool. And their nickname is the Dillo. They're carnivores. They're not rideable. And the most common place to find them is all around the island, especially on beaches and in forests, which some vary in color. Every dino in here has a different color to it. Yeah, it's kind of rare to find 2 dinos that are the same color, that are the same type of color scheme, that weren't bred together. But yeah, these guys, they drop 3 things: hide, raw meat, and nerdy glasses, which let's see here, I have those glasses on. These are the nerdy glasses, which from distance they kind of look like sunglasses. I kind of like them. I think they're pretty cool. But these guys, they can harvest raw prime meat, hide, chitin, and keratin. And they can be carried by pterodons, tapijaras, argentavis, quetzals, wyverns, capros, and megalosaurs. They can only break thatch bases, though. And these guys can be trapped by a plant Y trap, the bola, and the bear trap. And some dinos this size, and some that are a little bit bigger, like the Dimetrodon, we'll get to him here in a sec. This one can fit through regular door frames, dinosaur gates, and behemoth gates. So yeah, I think that's pretty cool. And next we'll go on to the Dimetrodon. These guys are a bit rare in Ark. They're a bit rare to see. I mean, if you like go to the swamps, or you live out in the swamps, regularly and stuff, you might see a few of them, but you really won't see them anywhere else. And these guys, they eat they're carnivores, as you can tell by the teeth and the claws, but they won't attack you unless you attack them. So they're pretty docile. They are a standard knockout team, and they prefer Quetzal kibble. Their favorite kibble, the Quetzal kibble, and the kibble that they produce is preferred by the Gallimimus, and they are not rideable. I figured I'd just sit on his head and, you know, let him just wander around, but yeah. Nah, I think his back's a good place to sit. That looks very comfortable, don't you guys think? I think so. No, that doesn't look too comfortable. But they are a breedable dinosaur. Their total time to maturation is 2 days, 1 hour, and 20 minutes. So kind of a long time, you know. And let's see. No, they're not rideable. They're pretty much only found in the swamps. You won't see one walking around in like the woods and on beaches and shit like that. They actually drop raw prime meat, raw meat, and hide, and they harvest raw prime meat, raw meat, hide, chitin, and keratin. The dinos like the Dilophosaur here and the Dimetrodon, I call them guard dogs because you can't ride them, and they're not really good in a fight unless you have a group of them. So I like to take a few Dilophosaurs and put them in a group and have them just roam around my base, just wandering around my base, you know, on aggressive. So that way, if anybody tries to break into my base, they start attacking. They're in groups. They have the advantage of numbers and all that, and they've been trained over time to where they're stronger and they hit harder. Now, one of the things about the Dimetrodon is he can only be carried by the Quetzal and the Wyvern. He can break thatch and wood bases. He can only be trapped by the large bear trap, and he fits through dino gates and behemoth gates. So yeah, these are definitely interesting dinosaurs here. I like them. I think they're really cool. They look like a little Komodo dragon mixed with a Spinosaurus or something. I don't know. They're really interesting. And next we have this big bastard. This, I know what some of you guys are thinking. We already saw him. That's the Bronto from the other video. No, it's not. For you uncultured swine. No, I'm just playing, guys. This is actually the Diplodocus. This one is actually smaller than the Bronto. There was a Bronto walking around here earlier. I don't know where he went though, but yeah. Oh, there he is. Yeah, you guys can see him over there. He is these are actually the smaller versions. These guys, the Brontos will not attack you on sight. These guys just might. If you get too close to them, they will attack you. A Bronto, you can walk up and stand on his feet and he's not going to bother you. But these guys, they even look evil. If you look at the face, this looks like some shit out of Beetlejuice, don't it? That's a creepy fucking face. I don't know who's creepier, him or the Baryonyx. Let me know down in the comments which one you think is creepier. I have to do a side-by-side for that one. But, yep, these guys, they don't use their tail to attack. They actually turn their head and then kind of do like a sideways headbutt and knock you back. Which, if it knocks you into something or knocks you off of something, you're kind of in trouble because these guys actually... It's not their headbutt attack that you have to worry about. They are actually, it's actually what it knocks you into. I've had them headbutt me and knock me into spikes and all kinds of shit. But let's get into these guys here. The Diplodocus can actually be tamed in two different ways. They can be standard knockout tame, or you can passive tame them. We'll talk about both of those here. And it's the, so far, as far as I know, it's the only dinosaur in Ark that can be both knockout and passive tamed. And if you don't get out of here, you damn fin-headed monstrosity over there, you're not in this video. Get out. But, yeah. The Diplodocus, they eat standard knockout tame. They eat berries and vegetables and other berries, and they like Lystrosaur kibble. We'll see Lystrosaurs here in a few videos, I guess. And same as the passive tame, you just sneak up to him. And here's a little important info about the Diplodocus. The Diplodocus is the first creature that can be tamed both passive and by knocking it out. If you're aiming for the highest effectiveness, passive taming is the way to go. as it requires only a third of the food compared to a knockout tame. The effectiveness will turn out much higher and save you on food at the same time. So if you want one that's going to hit like a tank and be a badass, you want to go for a passive tame. I have not tried to passive tame one of these guys. I've tried ghillie suits, I've tried everything. I can't get close enough to actually do it. Maybe you guys can. If you guys can, then, you know, more power to you. But these guys, I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of the Diplo. But they're very interesting creatures, I think. Like I said, they prefer the Lystrosaur kibble, and the kibble that they produce is preferred by the Allosaur. We saw him in the first video, the T-Rex looking thing. And the saddle, you learn their saddle at level 60, and you craft that in the smithy. They are rideable, and you can breed them. If you have two, you can breed them. They take 4 days, 1 hour, and 30 minutes to reach full maturation. And they are herbivores, so, but they will attack you. They aren't really docile all that much. So, but they're found all around the island, most often near beaches and mountains. So that's pretty cool. They drop raw meat, raw prime meat, hide, and sauropod vertebrates like the Bronto over there. You get the sauropod vertebrae from these guys too. They harvest berries, thatch, raw mushrooms, rare flowers, fiber, and wood. They cannot be carried, and they can't damage anything. The only way to trap them is with a large bear trap or a chain bolo, and they only fit through a behemoth gate. So they have a lot of similarities to the Bronto. The only difference is that they're actually smaller. They're smaller in size, but I think they're overall longer in, you know, distance and length, I guess is what you'd call it. So now let's get on to the next one here. We have the dire bear. These guys are one of my most favorite creatures in the entire game. They're very cool. They're actually very they're very docile. If you get close to one, though, he will attack you. I mean, you could stand from here to him, and from here to it, and it would not attack you. But you get about here, and yeah, you better run. And another thing about them is when they run, they pick up speed. So they're continuously accelerating as they're running and moving faster. And let's see about these guys. They actually eat 3 different things. They eat all kinds of meat, giant bee honey, which we might see a giant bee later on, and they like carno kibble, and they are a standard knockout tank. These guys are really, really cool. These guys are an awesome tame. They're actually hard to tame, and in some places, like in the redwood areas, you might see more than one. You might see them in a group of like 2 or 3, maybe. You know. Like I said, they like the Carnotaur kibble, which was in the last video, and they don't produce a kibble. You learn their saddle at level 35 and craft that in a smithy. And they are breedable. They take 2 days, 2 hours, and 40 minutes to reach full maturation. And they are omnivores, so they eat so they can eat berries and meat, but they have to be tamed with meat or honey or whatever. They are standard knockout tame. They are rideable. The most common location on the island is mostly in the snow biome at the north side of the island, which I've never really seen any up there. I've seen a few in the redwoods. So, but yeah, these guys are really cool. They drop raw meat, hide, and pelt, and they harvest raw prime meat, fiber, hide, pelt, berries, chitin, keratin, all the good stuff. So yeah. They can only be carried by a quetzal and a wyvern. They can break wood and thatch bases. You can only catch one with large bear trap. And they fit through dinosaur gates and behemoth gates. So overall, these guys are really, excuse me, I almost burped there for a minute. But yeah, these guys are really interesting. They're really cool. Let's get a side by side here with one of these things. The diver. Yep. As you can see, he is taller than my character. My character is the default height, and this guy is massive. Yeah, that thing is huge. And then over here we have the dire wolf. He is the last one in this listing, and he is. These are actually really great tames to have. And we'll get this side by side here to talk about them a little bit more. Yeah, these guys are a really great tame to have. If you run into them, most times they're going to be in packs, and when you encounter them, it's not just going to be 2 or 3 or 4. And most times it's going to be more like anywhere between 8 to 15 of them, and they're going to really fuck you up. These guys can be level 1 and they can hit like a tank. They're very powerful, they're very fast, and they're really cool creatures. They are a standard knockout tame, and they eat carno kibble as well. Same as the dire bear, they just don't eat honey. And they eat all different kinds of meat, obviously. And then for the carno kibble, and these creatures don't require a saddle to ride. You do not need a saddle to ride them. So, yeah. That's another reason why they're a good tame, so you don't have to waste resources making a saddle for one. And you can breed them. They take 2 days, 6 hours, and 10 minutes to breed for one to reach full maturation. And they're mostly found in the snow biome at the north side of the island. Their nickname is the Wolf. Let's see here. They drop raw meat, hide, and pelts. And they harvest hide, pelt, angler gel, chitin, keratin, leech blood, organic polymer, raw meat, raw prime meat, all that good stuff. And they can only be carried by the Argentavis, the Quetzal, the Wyvern, and the Megalosaurus. Hi, how you doing there? You having fun? I hope so. And they can break wood and thatch bases. You can bolo them, and you can catch them with a bear trap, and they only fit through dinosaur and behemoth gates. And let's see here. Let's see if I can get him to do this. Nope, he's not gonna do it. Yep. See the I think the howl is supposed to do some type of intimidation thing. I don't know, or signal, or it's supposed to call other dire wolves to him. I'm not sure. Each dino has its uses. Like I said, these two would be excellent guard dogs. And there are a few more guard dog dinos in the game. These guys make pretty good siege weapons, not for breaking stuff, but they can step over most small walls and things like that. And these guys, dire bears, are tanks, and they hit hard, and they run like a damn sports car. And the dire wolves are pretty much the same, only they're not as built to take damage as the dire bear, but you can train them to be. So there we go. There are our 5 contestants. There. Sorry guys, I'm kind of sick today. But yep. If you guys like the Dilophosaur, I call them spitters. You guys can call them whatever. The little spiny tail thingy, whatever the hell you call it, cone head thing, comb head thing. The Dimetrodon, the Diplodocus longneck, and if you shake my screen again, I will kill you with the dire bear. Actually, let's do that real quick. Let's get a little action here. That is a one hit. That's a pretty strong hit there. And his movement speed, I think his movement speed might be a little boosted. I have them all at level 1 though, so his movement speed shouldn't be too high. But yep. Next up we have the dire bear guys and the dire wolf. Let me know which one is your favorite, guys, and he will be going on to the next round with the Ranio Spider, the Calicotherium, and the Carbonemys Turtle. Because if I have to pick, it's going to be a tie between the Dire Bear and the Dire Wolf. And Dimetrodon comes in at third. So, but yeah, let me know which one of these guys you want in the next round. Leave it down there in the comments. That's going to sum it up for this video, guys. Don't forget to subscribe, smash that like button, drop a comment, and I will see you guys in the next video. May the Force be with you.